So, the other day when we were talking, you said that you were going to try to focus on improving yourself more and like as a player in Dota and stuff. So, I figured to kind of help with that, I could do like a replay analysis thing over one of your games. So, this was a game, we were a 5-stack versus 5-stack. I think we aggro tried this game. And I'm just going to watch it from your player perspective. And yeah, that's what all I got. Load in here, badass tree loading screen. I love that set actually. Okay, so we're just gonna not have my keybinds work, but we're gonna fast forward a little bit through the draft here.
Winter Wyvern.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna like skip the draft. Jesus.
Templar Assassin.
Alright, how loaded in? Alright, we're fairly loaded in. Let's back it up a bit.
Juggernaut.
Okay, now we'll just fast forward. Whatever.
Warlock.
Gyrocopter! Prepare to battle!
I'm gonna go all the way back here.
Juggernaut.
Gyrocopter!
Okay, finally. Jesus. Alright, so you're loading in. Let's pause here. Alright, so in this, we were planning on doing an aggro tri-lane with Wyvern, Undying, Gyrocopter, which is a pretty strong lane in its own right. I think you're the 4 this game. So obviously you're not going to buy the courier nor the wards. So let's look at starting items here.
Prepare for battle!
Okay. So you go Tango Salve, Stout Shield, 2 branches, and a Clarity. Personally, I like getting a Mango on Undying. I feel that's incredibly valuable because the burst mana while you're in fights is good, as well as the 1 HP regen just sort of keeps you trucking when you're harassing. So I'd say maybe instead of like the 2 branches. Wait, then you wouldn't have a Clarity. Maybe instead of like the Salve and a branch or something, grab a Mango because you still want the Clarity. Your skill build, generally you shouldn't skill before the game starts. Decay is normally what you'll get at level 1, but maybe if there's like a big rune fight or something, you'd want Tombstone in its place. It's a bad, I'm gonna bring up CS here. So yeah, I'd say consider a Mango, and don't skill before the game starts, like in Fountain. I mean, like, skill before the game starts, but not in Fountain. Anyway. Okay, now my keybinds work. Okay, fast forward, you run up top. Probably should have run just straight to the rune spot. Okay, you come down through the river.
30 seconds to battle!
Kinda odd. If you're gonna go all the way up like that, you probably either want to like ward, and let me pause this. My god, why can't I? Free camera. Whoa. Alright, well, I guess it won't let me free camera, but yeah, you can see my mouse. If you're gonna go all the way, I'm at the mini map right now. If you're gonna go like all the way to the tower instead of just cutting to the rune spot, what you might want to do is, like, if you were fast and got out of base quickly, you might want to like swing through and make sure they're not warding or anything. It's a little risky, so you probably want to make sure your team's backing you up, like over here or something. But yeah, you just kind of want to swing through there if you're going to make the trek all the way up through this part. You don't want to walk through the river because the river, it's low ground, and so you automatically have a positioning disadvantage. So, like, say if their support or something was to run, like, through in this area, then they could see you running through the river and could probably, they'd at least be alerted to your presence, if not, like, be able to kill you or whatever. But not that big of a deal. The spot you're in is kind of weird. You generally want to be, like, up with your team, but it's okay. Anyway. You get there, pinging where to put the ward. Garrett messed up, but that's okay. There's a pause. We're gonna fast forward through the pause. 8x. Do. Still paused. Jesus. And all chat. Jesus.
Oh, you're hot.
Alright, so test top rune. Looks like Luke just got a free rune too. How am I on Gyrocop? Okay, that was a little odd, but whatever. Another pause. Oh, guess not. Anyway, so we're gonna head into lane. You guys chose to go kind of the risky route through the river, which talked about earlier. Probably want to go back through the lane, because, see, I'm starting to get a block off. Getting a dank block. What you can do is, I think you double click on your portrait, you can lock camera, because I saw that your camera, so you don't have to edge pan while creep blocking, because that's kind of annoying, but whatever. Go for the deny. Probably should have we should have run at him immediately instead of going for the deny, but you know, whatever. Just chilling. They're playing obviously very passively. Solid. Just dying. Stupid shadow thing. Now here's Garrett not knowing how to keep creep equilibrium, which is somewhat annoying, but you know, whatever. Go to 2x here, because this is really slow. So we're just kind of chilling, somewhat zoning. Got 2. Healing up. We probably should have played, like, very aggressive. We don't really have any stuns for the quad, but we can definitely kill the Omni Knight quite easily. Like, we just kind of run him down. I think we begin to do that once we get a couple more levels. But we probably should have done that a little early on.
Its middle tower is under attack.
Here... Generally, it seems like this isn't just you, this is kind of the support duo in general. We're just kind of hanging out. We're not really accomplishing much, we're just sort of leeching levels.
Rambo style, first blood.
We shouldn't do. Tried to do the side pull there, but they'd push the waves. Here, we're just trying to push. Probably should have just kind of, like, our lane, it's incredibly hard to kill you in particular, so what we should have done is just kind of run them down, probably.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
But right now, see how defensive we're playing? Like, we should be doing something. I know that eventually we dive their tower and like push and stuff, but right now, neither of us have really accomplished stuff. We could have contested the rune, we could have ganked mid. Our decision making is great in this game. Here, yeah, we're doing some awkward tombstones, but well, I guess we're pushing. Good. You're coming around here. That wasn't the best positioning because you're kind of really out of the way there, but I understand because you wanted to keep your clarity running. Okay, grab boots. That's good. Go again. I think we might end up not getting the kill. Yes. Gonna push. So far, we've done well. If you look at the CS, Quaff only has 13 to the 31 of our gyrocopter. So, obvious improvement. Going for treads here. Gloves paste first is a little strange. It's not necessarily bad, it's just... Treads in general is kind of odd. It's not like super odd, but it is odd. I personally like treads, but you know, whatever. Anyway, so I think we're going to gank mid here. Oh, end up finding a free Omni Knight. Actually, no, Garrett rockets free. Everything is bad. Looks like you just kind of go top while we sort of... Oh, you're back. Never mind. You generally don't use Soul Rip aggressively, because they cost like a bunch of mana. Because right now you're totally out of mana.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower
Generally when I save it, use it for the heal rather than the damage, unless you're like just a little bit off of killing somebody. Anyway, so looks like you're taking over the off lane here.
bottom tower is under attack.
Just try to get the CS when you can. You just miss. I'm gonna pause. Generally, as a support, you should, if you have a lane to farm, you should try to get as many CS as you can. Like there, you missed like all three. I understand it was under tower, and Undying doesn't really have the best animation, but I mean your base damage is decent. You have 74, which is solid. So you probably should have tried to CS better there, but it's fine. It doesn't matter that much in the long run, but it is helpful because, like, say you would have gotten one of those, you'd already have your treads by now, plus maybe enough for like a TP or something at the side shop. So, kind of little things. Look at the CS right now. Garrett's leading 42 at 10 is quite poor, actually, but you know, it's whatever. We're not professionals. Continuing on.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Once again, missing CS.
Dire's
And looks like we're just pushing low. You're occupying the top lane, which is fine. Shouldn't have used that, because that used all your mana. At the very least, you should have tread swapped to use it.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Mostly okay though so far.
Dire's bottom tower is Dire's structures
Important
are
part getting
fortified.
treads is tread swapping for the stats, but I mean, it is kind of difficult to do. Now you just TP back, get mana, health, that's fine. Probably shouldn't just be chilling in base, but looks like you're gonna go continue to occupy the top lane.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I'll take that as tribute. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Good thing this game probably would have been a wand, because they have fairly spammy heroes. Like TA tends to use a few spells. Quab uses at least like
Dire's
3
top tower is under
really
attack.
quickly. Miss the stun.
Tower is under attack.
And I think, yeah, Lagoon Blade. Okay. Anyway, they have pretty spammy heroes, so a wand or at the very least a stick is often good. That also helps you with kind of your mana problems. Again, you probably don't want to be using Decay just to like hit creeps, because like at level 1 it's what, like it's 20 damage, which isn't worth the 70 mana that you're spending on it. So probably don't want to do that, especially this early on when you have such the mana problems. Here, bit of miscommunication with the Darkseer, because he was going mech and then you wanted to go mech. So it was just kind of awkward. You TP'd home. You shouldn't have sold the branch because you have to rebuy the branch now, because there's a branch in both Buckler and Headdress. Here, Darkseer finished the mech, so this is just miscommunication, but it's okay. Probably should have just sold your like Tango and your Salve instead. But in general, it's okay. Here you go to stack at camp, which probably isn't the best use of your time, because right now, like, bottom lane is free. You could be farming that. You could have been better positioned to help Luke there. It's a lot. Overall, I'd say the best play would have been to just, like, farm out bottom. But that's okay. I seem to remember this game you tended to prioritize stacking a whole lot. So, not really the best thing. Undying isn't really like kind of a sit back and get items hero, like say a lion or something is. Undying is much more of like a be active, force fights hero, which is probably what we should have done, but it's okay. Here, gotta stack the camp, I guess. Pop though. Murder some people. That's fine. Get some assists. Now we push. End up losing our bottom tower to the ratting TA, but you know, happens. Again, don't tread swap to use Decay, and you just kind of use Decay in a creep wave, which really isn't kind of the best thing to do. Overall, that was played well. I mean, it's kind of all I have to say. Here I think is where we realize that, oh, awkward, 2 mechs. So I think you go Medallion now, or no, you go Pipe. Okay, probably should have gone Crimson first this game, but you know, whatever. Pipe is just as good. But they have more physical damage than they do magic damage. Like, again, you generally want to not use Decay on. I'm just gonna stop saying that. I'd hope that's obvious by now. Here, what we should be doing is either looking to Roche early on, which we can do, or we should be looking to just force a fight, which we also can do. We probably should have done is, honestly, we should have just smoked as like 4. And just tried to find somebody, because we have pretty good ganking heroes. But, whatever.
Radiant's top towers and radiant structures are fortified.
Open up the top, get the deny. I think I had some stupid challenge. So what we should have done is...
What surge is this?
Alright, should have a TP, but that's okay. Generally, you also want to max Soul Rip over Decay in general, because getting the cooldown nice and low is really good, because then you have like a good heal and a 6-second cooldown, which is pretty strong, versus Decay's cooldown goes down, but it doesn't go down as much, and I guess the base damage increases. by 40 each level, which is good, but it's okay. At this point, Luke is like crazy farmed. Yeah, he's top net worth. Anyway, stacking again. I think I'm doing this stupid deny thing, but during this we probably should have maybe just like left me trying to deny, and then like somebody else, then for example like farm top or bottom or something, and tried to like get a push or something going. But right now you've just sat here for almost 2 minutes just waiting to stack ancients, which is really not a good use of your time. I mean, ancient stacks are good, but I mean, it's not worth your floor position just standing by the ancients for like 2 minutes.
Dyer's bottom tower
What you should have done, you seem right now, I'm gonna pause here, you seem kind of like lost as to what you're supposed to be doing, which is understandable. This was kind of a strange game for this portion because I was trying to get the deny a tower challenge and it was just kind of awkward that way. But what you probably should have done is like top lane is pushing in right now, so you could have gone and farmed that. Now maybe a core would go there, and if a core does go there, then you just relinquish the farm to them, but maybe you get like 2 or 3 CS, and then you're that much closer to your pipe, or whatever. Because right now what you've done is you've stacked like 2 Ancients in about like 2 minutes, which is really, like, supports. Their most valuable resource isn't really gold or experience or life even, it's more time. Like, as a support, you always want to be doing something. You never want to just be like standing around, just kind of milling about, you know? You want to be doing something. You want to be ganking. You should try to be more active as a support. Like, you should be like, alright, I'm gonna go farm top, guys. And then Gyrocopter could be like, I'll join you, and then you guys go into a push top. Or it's like, you know what? We should smoke as 4 and try to get a pickoff. Or, tell you what, I'll buy a... Well, I guess you could buy a medallion. Tell you what, I'll buy a medallion and then we'll smoke Roche. Or, hell, we'll just do Roche. Or let's go smoke top, because TA's probably farming their jungle. Which... well, she is. So, I'm just that brilliant, apparently. But, you know, something like that. You want to try to be doing something. You don't want to just be, like, standing there waiting for a minute trying to stack a camp. That's a poor use of your time. It gets you under-leveled and under-farmed. You want to be doing something. So, right now what I'd say is you should probably either try to coordinate a smoke or just go farm top. And stack occasionally. But honestly, I think the Gyrocopter does have a Helm of the Dominator, so he should be using the Helm of the Dominator to stack instead of his 4-position support. So that one's sort of on both of you, but you know, whatever. Anyway, wow, that was loud. Here, once again, stacking camp. Or, wait, okay, you probably should have stacked the large camp, because A, it's the large camp, and B, it's like way easier to stack. So that one is sort of here, get a kill, stop the D-ward, alright, whatever, still trying to do the deny thing, and now you're just kind of milling about once more. Like, see, it's been like 3 minutes, and all you've done is like stack a couple camps and decay a wave. So, you probably, I understand that I was being kind of weird with like the whole deny challenge, but that doesn't necessarily mean you guys have to play accordingly. Like, you guys could have pushed like top, for example, or you see Luke's kind of down on bottom farming. And now, once again, you're stacking the Ancients. I think we do have vision over the runes, so you probably should have grabbed the rune. But, like, it's been like 5 minutes, and all you've done is, like, stack a few camps. Which, I mean, stacking camps is good, but that's more of... Stacking camps should generally, like, in your rotations, I guess, as a support, should be like, oh, well, I'm kind of close to the Ancients, so I think I can make it down there to stack them. Or whatever. It shouldn't be like, oh, here, I'm deliberately going to wait by the Ancients for, like, 30 seconds to stack a camp. That's just not efficient. It's not. Like, you've been level 9 for, like, the past, like, 5 or 6 minutes, which is really unfortunate. Now, there hasn't been much happening on the map, but, like, hell, you could just, like, stack a camp. Hell, you could farm your own stack camps. You could just stack them, drop Tombstone, and then farm them with Tomb. Like, there's lots you should be doing. But right now, I'd say, I know that it was kind of weird because I was, like, trying to deny the tower, so I was automatically playing passively, and I think I remember you speaking up about that. But, like, that's not to say, like, I'm only one person on the team. Like, everybody else, like, we have a very active lineup. So, we probably should have, like, tried to find other opportunities. Like, what I'd say is you guys probably should have smoked, or at the very least ganked, if not smoke ganked. Or just tried to, like, stage a push. Do they still have their T2 bottom? Yeah. Stage a push on bottom for the T2 or something. Anyway, moving on.
Take that as tribute.
Almost to your hood, at least. Hang out. Deny some creeps. This is fine. You know what? Honestly, this is a better use of your time than stacking. Like, you could just come... Like, at least you're getting experience right now. So, say you still want to be committed to the stacking thing, what you could do is, like, come mid from, like, whatever time you stack. So, like, we'll say the 0-minute mark to, like, the 40-second mark. So that's 40 seconds. That's probably, like, 1.5, 2 waves of experience. And then go, stack, come back. If you really wanted to just, like, focus on stacking, which is... you know, admirable. That's a very selfless thing to do, but like this way you're at least getting something instead of just standing by the Ancients. So, if you still wanted to stack, but overall I'd say that kind of the stacking, I mean, it's good, but, you know, Garrett's farming patterns aren't exactly the best, and he tends to kind of struggle with farm, which is something he's working on. It's a fault, but it's not really that bad, you know? Not really, like, flaming him or anything. Anyway, like, so our cores in particular can't really make the best use out of stacks. I mean, Gyrocopter's great at stacks, but he has a helm with a dom, so he should kind of be stacking for himself. Like, hell, he could just share control of it, and you could micro that, but your hero could actually be accomplishing something on the map. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Like, having the stacks doesn't really accelerate his farm that much, because he lacks in other areas. But anyway, basically you should have been trying to do something. I know I've kind of harped on this, but it's been like 6 minutes, and all you've done really is like stack the Ancients like 3 times and like the medium camp a couple times, which, by the way, you generally should try to stack the hard camp if you can, because A, it's the hard camp, so it gives more golden experience, and B, that medium camp, this one is a pain in the ass to stack. It's really like weird and finicky, and the hitbox is weird, but whatever. You should have tried to like make a call to do something. A little early on the stack there, but like I said, that camp's really, really weird. Really. finally get the 2 denies. Now we're like, okay, let's push. Since apparently we were all mid. Walk right over a trap. We really should have... One of us should have invested in early trap. And here they pop their... Excuse me. I'm gonna rewind that. I'm gonna go through that fight, not in 2x speed. Here, they have 2 very good teamfight ults that are on very long cooldowns between Warlock Golem and GA. So we sort of did just kind of fight into those, but we have better team fight and it's shorter cooldown. But like when their cooldowns are up, they can challenge us, I guess you could say. So we sort of just we didn't really respect the Golem, and I think we lost this fight. But here, I'm gonna. Alright, this is like half speed. Alright, so we get like 3-man Golem tier. Luke, good initiation. Echo. Now here, you're probably too far up because everybody else kind of made the call to retreat, whereas you were sort of alone. Get Omni slashed, almost saved. I think Garrett goes down here too. Their TA ended up having a Desolator. Get the drums, walk right over the trap. Garrett gets surged, which is a clutch play. I think Luke ends up going down here. I think I die as well. I might live. I don't know. Juggernaut dies. You're just following Garrett.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, I die, and I think Zach might die here too. Anyway, it's a bad fight. Like, we sort of didn't respect that, and then we were outpositioned. Now, I don't remember if Zach dies here, but I'm gonna speed it back up. I just realized I was going really slowly. Clutch stun. Can't really see too well here. Does end up going down, but we do get a return kill.
That's a twofer.
Return kills. Which is helpful, but that's okay. Alright, so at this point, you've got almost your pipe done, and do you have a buckler on the courier? Oh, is it? You had a buckler earlier. Oh, Jesus. Did you sell that? You probably shouldn't have sold that. You should have kept it, because it does build into Crimson later on. I think you did end up selling it. So, that was kind of a mistake on your part. That's not really efficient use of gold, but that's okay. Happens. There was obviously the miscommunication between Luke and you on who would be the mech carrier, of which Luke is probably the better, but I don't know. He could have gone for different items, you could have gone for different items. It's fine. You're similar heroes as far as itemization in the early game. One thing I have noticed, you haven't been tread swapping nearly as much as you really should. Always want to, for example, you want to have your treads on a key that's easy for you to use. Like, I have it on one of my mouse buttons. Is where I generally put my treads, so I can just put my thumb over, just click the button. Generally want to have it, because tread swapping is actually really good, because it's 8 stats, so that's 8 extra int, which is like, God, what is it? It's 8 times, what, 13? So that's, what, 80... That's over 100 mana difference that it gives you from, like, for a full mana pool, percentage-based, whatever. So, tread swapping really helps with the efficiency, especially on Undying, because, like, right now you've got 663 mana. So I'm gonna just call it 650 for the sake of math on my poor little brain. But, like, each of your spells costs over 100. So we're just gonna say they cost 100, in fact. Actually, we're not. Yeah, we're not. So you can use, say you use all 4 of your spells. So that's what, 200, 250, 380. So that's most of your mana pool just using your spells. Then Decay has a 4-second cooldown. Soul Rip has a 22-second cooldown, but eventually will be a 6-second cooldown. Like, those are incredibly spammable, and they both cost at least 100 mana each. I think if you level it up, doesn't Soul Rip's mana cost go up? Yeah. Alright, so they both cost 130 apiece at max level. So Tread swapping really saves your bacon there. But Strength Treads are also good because Undying naturally, like, his strength gain's pretty low. Okay, it's not going to display it, tell you what. I don't need you in-game display. Where is he? Dirge. Yeah, 2.1, which is pretty low, honestly, for, like, kind of a frontline hero. But that's sort of made up for. Well, it's more of, like, a balance thing, since you get strength from Decay. Otherwise, he would be really under-tanky. So the Strength Treads help counteract that before you can get excuse me, before you can get to decay stacks off in a fight, which is something you generally want to aim to do. Because you do need that HP pool, and it goes a long way towards helping your teammates damage. Anyways, so Tread swapping, that's my spiel. Shouldn't have sold the Buckler. Also, that was kind of a mistake, because you're eventually going to want to build a Crimson. And the Stout Shield, both of which build into Crimson. Also, you should have started with Crimson, rather than Hood. No, Pipe. But, you know, that, you just kind of got to learn that, because, like, if you look, like, Warlock, Golem is mostly physical. I mean, it has some pure and some magical, but mostly physical. Quap's magic. Omni Knight doesn't really do much damage. The one damage spell he does have is pure, so doesn't really matter either way. Juggernaut's physical and TA's physical. So having the Crimson Guard on everybody is extremely helpful. Crimson Guard also gives you some raw HP, and it gives you armor, which is fantastic versus Templar Assassin, because TA has both Meld and Deso, which is like minus 14 armor, and you have 4 right now, so that automatically puts you at minus 10, which is really low, and then you just kind of become butter, which is unfortunate. Anyway, moving on. Whoa. Okay, I want 2x. There we go. Check the rune. Here, you sort of just walking around. Not really the best use of your time. I think we go for another push since we know their abilities are on cooldown. Okay, check the rune again, twice in the same minute. That's just sort of... I mean, it happens, but it's kind of dumb, honestly. Not to be harsh or anything, but probably shouldn't do that. Anyway, going to stack the Ancients once more, which... Again, I think we were looking to push, so this sort of stalls the push. Notice how, like, everybody else, like, yeah, look, there's a fight going on, and, I mean, like, we got an Ancient stack, but, now here, that's the armor issue. You just sort of melt in there. End up, Tombstone ends up doing more. So, good fight overall for us, but you probably should have been there earlier. Oh, that's actually really nice. Yeah, we did get quite a bit out of that. Probably should have been there earlier instead of stacking the camp, and your itemization caused you to die incredibly quickly. But, you know, happens. So here I think we make a Roche call. I think I picked up a medallion. No, okay, it was flying out to me. I think I just got it. Maybe? Maybe. Okay, no, I'm queued up a medallion. I remember I bought it. Anyway. Here we go. Warlock Golem. And lose 3 because we got Golemed in the pit. I think here Garrett lives. think I managed to save him. Yeah. Glimmer Cape. Now here's where we get like mega dough. Which that was kind of insane. Here you run out, kind of be a bouncer.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
TP, that was sick play. That was super sick. Anyway, they just sort of went super ham. Makes a sick vacuum, being rocketed. There's Ion Shell, she fights, gets Laguna Bladed, dies. I'm just casting the game. So here, finish up your pipe, out of mana. Again, tread swapping helps with that, but not gonna harp on that. Should have had a TP also, and Magic Wand is also good. So right now, that's a sad inventory, man. Like, you should have some other smaller items. You should have, like, a TP, a stick, maybe a mango. Just, like, a value mango for in fights. Because, I mean, it's only 150 gold. So it is helpful. Maybe some sentries versus TA. Sentries or dust. Like, you should have other items besides just treadments and pipe. That's sort of lacking items there. Even if they're small items, you shouldn't just have 2 items. You should have, at the very least, your TP as well. And probably a wand. All support should buy a wand. But anyway. Chilling. Still chilling. Buy 3 TPs. TP. Looks like we're going to go Roche. I think I might have him down. Alright, Asher, just going to murder that guy. Get Omni Slash. Get healed. Get Golem. You go. Alright, there. Okay, A, didn't really use your pipe, which, I mean, if you're going to buy a pipe, you should do it. Also, like, at this point, you're not, like, the beast that you are at, like, God, whatever, like, early laning phase, like, 5 minutes. Like, you can't just kind of run down people. At this point, like, you're a 4-position support, and in fact, you become the 5. You're a lower net worth than my Wyvern, but again, we've talked about how you got to that with, like, the stacking and stuff, but past that, like, that was bad positioning. You can't really just run in at this point. You want to be in the center of fights, but you can't just kind of run at people at this point in the game. What you should have done is you should have looked for the decays, because decay has a pretty good range. Well, does it say the range? 325 radius. Does it say the range? Damn it. Anyway, I know it has decent range, and the radius is good. So you should look for B. Alright, can I free camera? Does free camera allow me to actually move the camera? Okay, can I? Jesus. Alright, let's put it at the slowest possible speed. This is not actually free camera. Can confirm, not free camera. Okay. Let me actually move the camera. Okay, I can't actually move the camera here. But alright, whatever. This is a good enough picture. Where you should have been is... Where am I? You see where I am? I'm way... Okay, I can't ping. But I'm back. Jesus Christ, I can't do anything here. Can't even select. Anyway, I'm way back here. You should... What the fuck? Alright, you should be back in this area. Because right now, you're separated from the team. You're just running in. You're separated from the team by the Warlock Golem, and I think he had Upheaval here too. So you are heavily zoned from the team. Where you should be is back here, and then you should be looking for decays. You should place the tombstone in a hard to get to point, like a cliff, or like back, kind of like off to the side of fights. You don't want it to be just directly in the center, otherwise it gets quickly focused at this point in the game. But you want it to be like cliffs, like around Roche Pit is perfect for tombstone positioning. You just want to be able to like plop the tombstone down, and then just like they can't get to it, and you can just win the fight. Because tombstone's there, your heal does a bunch, whatever. You should be looking for decays, and let me click on you again. Whoa. You should be... Does it say the range? It doesn't, but you should have your ult, and you should be within range around where your ult, like, so you get the damage amp and everything off with your ult. So you should generally be, for this point, you should be about, like, where Luke is, as far as, like, distance. Like, if the enemy team, on the mini-map here, if the enemy team's, like, over here, then as far as, like, distance, with, like, you being the furthest, Garrett, and then, like, Luke, Zach, and then myself, you should be about where Luke is, distance-wise. Because right now, basically, this is, you're not accomplishing anything. Like, you didn't hit your decay, you haven't healed anybody, you haven't dropped tombstone, you haven't amplified any damage, you haven't used your pipe. Basically, you've just kind of soaked a quap ult, which is useful, but, like, I mean, your hero's capable of so much more than just kind of casually soaking quap ult and then dying. I think Garrett gets hit by it too, because the animation is wrong. It's, like, actually, like, this big, but whatever. So in this fight, you really didn't accomplish much. You just sort of walked in and died, which is mostly a positioning error. But generally, at this stage in the game, Undying, you need to be playing much more reserved and using, like, the team fight utility items you've farmed up, like Mac, Pipe, Crimson, using your heal from afar, having Tombstone down, getting in range for your ult. You don't want to just be, like, running down and right-clicking people. That's not really what Undying excels at. He excels at, like, sustaining his team in a team fight, which is what you should be doing rather than running down a Juggernaut or whoever that is. Anyway, I've talked a lot about that, so we're going to continue on here. Speed it up. So you die. Team retreats. Your camera positioning, not the best. Okay. It's just like... Alright. So we end up trading 1-for-1 between basically 5 positions. Now Luke gets a sick play there. We have our sick combo with Vacuum into Curse. So, make sick plays, murder people. Okay, I'm just gonna call this fight. Kill. And triple kill. So, it ends up being a 4-for-1, which is totally worth. Well, wait, had we killed the... I remember Omni Knight was dead. So, we end up, that's like a, what, 2,400 gold swing? So it ends up coming ahead, but, like, you'll notice, you got nothing, no XP, no damage done. Like, nothing happened for you that fight. Anyway, I think we're gonna finally try to finish our Roche. I'm flying out some boards.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Anyway, Roche, you're walking back, that's great. So you're standing outside the pit, which is good, because you kind of want to counter-initiate. Alright, so we get Aegis. Now at this point you're going Medallion, Atos, okay, I'm not really sure. You have Sage's Mask, which was okay, and then you queue up Crimson. Alright, at this point your itemization's kind of all over the place, you're not really sure what you actually want to buy. Because there's a lot of items for support. What I would have gotten this game in your position is Ghost Scepter, because, like, they have a crap ton of physical damage, and just being able to, like, Ghost Omni Slash or Ghost, like, TA, just melding you or whatever, is very helpful. So that's what I would have gone for, but I mean, each their own. I think Ghost would have been good, Force Staff would have been good. At this point, it's kind of too late for Crimson Guard. Rebuying your Stout Shield. Continuing pushing. at this point, we're doing the general slow siege with Aegis, where the Aegis carrier stands in the front. We get Golem, drop Tombstone, you die, you get Omni Slashed, but we clean up heavily. So we lose Aegis and you, but you got your pipe off, so you actually had to impact that fight because you got the pipe off. You didn't just kind of die. So at that point, you probably should have had like a Ghost Scepter because you tend to just melt to Omni Slash. And I can't necessarily commit heal to you, just to saving you. But anyway. So we just get Rax now. Almost dies.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So you're in base, just chilling.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Almost got your Vanguard, got some regen. So right now your inventory looks kind of weird, because like you've got the full pipe, and then you've got like half a Vanguard, and then just like a random Sage's Mask. So right now your inventory is suboptimal, I could say. So to fix that, I'm not just gonna say you have a problem and not offer anything to fix it. You should have spent. I mean, you're the 4 position, so you should have spent some more time farming. Like the 4 position should have some bit of priority, you know? Like, and that comes mostly in the early game. Now, obviously, we're doing an aggressive tri lane, so you couldn't really get money from polls and stuff. But generally, number 1 thing is living through fights. That is how you get income as a support, is living through a fight. Because, like, you don't get any gold if, like, you just die, and then we get 3 kills afterwards, like what just happened in that base siege. Like, you got the gold for the buildings, for that. You didn't get any of the golds for, like, the 3 kills we got. You just sort of died up front. So, that, generally, living through fights, and then you want to, when there's space, you want to occupy it. Like, you want to be creating space, but, like, if you're not actively creating space, you should be occupying space. You know, like, if there's, like, a free lane or something, when we're not, like, gearing up for a push, or doing Roche, or, you know, whatever, then you should be, like, for example, now, I think we're planning to push right now, but, for example, right now, like, Luke is farming bottom lane, somebody's farming mid, so perhaps you should go top and take the slightly less safe farm, but, you know, you still get farm, whereas your carries and stuff can get the safer farm, like, in the jungle, in the pushing in lanes, etc., etc. Well, maybe, like, you, me, and Luke, for example, go and farm out top and sort of share the farm between the 3 of us. That could be good, and then, like, Garrett farms the jungle and bottom, or Garrett farms bottom, and Zach does the jungle real quick. That would be efficient farming. Instead, I think, now, obviously we're pushing and stuff, so it doesn't really apply to this particular situation, I'm just using it as an example. But yeah, you should try to occupy space when you can, like, try to play a little more selfishly, like, get some items up and stuff, you know? Because, like, right now a Ghost Scepter would quite literally be a lifesaver. So, anyway.
Fallen. Dire's middle barracks have fallen.
And you stack the Ancients. Another thing you did there, you didn't even get any XP for that. You should have at least stood next to him when we did that, so you at least get some experience. I mean, like, solo XP's good, but, like, Garrett's past the point where levels really matter. Like, he's level 19, whereas you can still start getting points in your skills. Like, everybody on the team except for you doesn't really need levels anymore. Like, you don't get levels and you're like, oh boy, stat points. Like, As long as he's getting the gold, he's happy, whereas you still need the levels. Just quick thought there. Excuse me. Anyway, go to stack yet another camp. Shocker. Kappa. So at this point, I think we're just waiting. Roche, or are we gonna push? Okay.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
We should go for a put. Yeah, it looks like we're grouping top. Are we? I don't know what's happening. So at this point, you're just sort of chilling in the jungle, which isn't super efficient. Now, I think this game in particular, I remember you being like super focused on like stacking stuff, which has been shown thus far. And like here, you're like pinging like, hey man, you blocked the camp, which is an inefficiency, but at this point, like camps don't really matter that much. Neither does stacking really. Stacking is most valuable in the early game when you really want to like get your core items up and stuff. But like right now, it doesn't really matter whether, say, the gyrocopter gets like 1 ancient camp or 2 ancient camps. It doesn't really affect his farm that much. Whereas like early game, farming like an early triple stack and getting like 1,000 gold towards your BKB or your Sanjin Yasha or whatever is quite impactful. But now getting 1,000 gold towards your rapier or whatever like isn't nearly as impactful, like percentage-wise, you know, like it's less of his net worth. It's less like percent of his net worth. I feel like I'm explaining this poorly. Basically, don't post like 30 minutes. Hell, post like 25 minutes. You don't really worry too much about like stacking camps. If it's like a convenience thing, then yeah, totally. But like, don't like go out of your way to stack camps, which is kind of true and don't post that, but maybe you make. At this point, like stacking camps is like, oh, well, it's 50 seconds and I'm walking by the large camp. I'll wait for 3 seconds to stack it. Whereas like at say like 5 minutes, it's like, oh, well, it's like 40 seconds and I'm walking by the large camp. Should stack it. And then, well, here, I'll stack it and then I'll go check bottom rune. Something like that. Anyways. Continue on. Warlock has his eggs. Camps are blocked. Check the rune. Oh boy, a haste. Speedy zombie. Here, I don't know. Okay, it looks like we are pushing bottom. I think you're gonna go stack. Oh, get the bounty rune. And stack. Efficiency. Yeah.
Tower has been denied.
Anyway, I think we're just waiting for Roche at this point. At this point again, you're just kind of running around stacking camps. Like you're still just running around. Like you just spent a minute walking in our jungle. Which I mean, like it's good exercise, Kappa. But like I said, I mean, it should be more of a convenience thing than like going out of your way to do it. Anyway, at this point, I think we're just waiting for Roche, honestly. I don't know. I think we're looking for a fight now. Now that was super awkward. Because Zach missed his stun, and so we just used like the tomb and call down for nothing. But whatever. Going back, going to stack the ancients. Again, way too much emphasis on stacking. Oh shit, he's not stacking it. Oh yeah, Vanguard. Let's go. Anyway, like, it should be a convenience thing. It's like, oh, I'm walking by, ooh, I'll stack the ancients. It shouldn't be like, oh, here, I'm gonna go 30 seconds out of my way to stack. Anyway, Roshan is up. I think we're gonna look to... Right now, going back. Stacking. That one, just for future reference, at about 55 seconds. That's when you want to stack. And I think here we're just going to sneak Roche. Anyway, get Roche, and now I think we just push and we win. I don't know. We'll see. Here you queue up Crimson. Double bounty rune, easy. Walking around some more. Still just cruising around. Walk up here, grab that. Should have grabbed a TP. And looks like we're just grouping to push. Now you should be either back. Yep. Good. Get the pipe off. Slow down. Doing work. I die for 3. So I mean, you know, whatever. And we get racks. And I think we just went now. Alright. So, overview of that game. Let me bring that up. Anyway, back to this game. What you should have done is you played very selflessly, which is respectable, but you played too selflessly. So you were then just super poor, like all the time. Like, look at this. Like, I was the 5. I bought all the wards. I bought a gem. I bought all this stuff, and I still out GPM'd you, just because I spent my time doing things, I guess, more than just stacking camps. Not that stacking camps is bad. I don't want you to get that impression. Stacking camps is good, but you just put way too much emphasis on that this game. So, I'd say in the future, what you need to do is focus on your itemization. That game, for example, there was obviously the miscommunication between Luke and you on who was to be the mech carrier that game. But after that, you should have realized that, okay, if I'm not getting mech, what can help? Notable options, Medallion is good, Pipe is good, but you generally want to get, like, Crimson before Pipe, especially versus that team, because we've established with the armor and stuff. So, Crimson Guard, good. Glimmer Cape is good. Ghost Scepter, really, Force Staff. And most of your support itemization should be for staying alive and for help keeping your allies alive. Undying is a little different because you generally build like big team fight utility items like Mac and Crimson and stuff on him because he's so good. He's such a good carrier for them because they make him tanky and they make him just able to kind of be a little bit more like run-in-y, you know, like you run in more. But overall, I mean, you played well, but you're very underfarmed for where you should be. Like you should have had about 350 GPM that game, I'd say. My GPM was solid. I'd say for the 5, 285. That's pretty good for the 5. The 4, especially Undying, should, like Undying, you should definitely be in like all the team fights. You should be, you know, doing stuff, you know, being active, not dying. Probably about like 350, 300, somewhere in there. So you're about like 60 to 100 GPM behind where you should be, which is quite a noticeable difference, but that's okay. Additionally, your XP per minute was quite low. You were only level 16, whereas everybody except like the losing team supports, which happens. You're behind everybody. Like if you look at our team, like 22, 19, 22, 22, 16. Like as the 4, you should be the one who's like up in the 20s or something, whereas I should be the one who's level 16. So in this game we sort of role swapped, but anyway, this video is like over an hour long, so I'm just gonna cut off here. Things, don't focus too much on stacking camps. I'll try to make a thing on like things to do as a support. I might do that now actually, but things to do as a support, and then occupying space more. But overall, I mean, you played well. You showed up for the team fights. You pressed your buttons. I mean, it's really all anybody can ask you. Hope this helped you, and have a good day.